Welcome back to my channel, The Classic Manny. It is your boy, and I am back with another episode of Pop Up with Manny. Today we'll be talking about season 4 of Love Island, but before I go into that, I am proud to introduce to you guys the Creatives Con. This is a brand founded by myself with the purpose of uplifting, acknowledging and supporting my fellow creatives, and we're having our first launch on September 2nd 2018 at Forge. I'll put the link where you can get the tickets in the description box below. We've already sold out on the early bird tickets, and I'm so thankful to everyone that's already purchased the tickets. As I said, we've already sold out on the early bird tickets, where we've got the standard and the deluxe tickets left. So the standard tickets obviously is for entry, and the deluxe ticket is for entry, and you can get a discounted drink and side of your choice. So I'll put the link, as I said, in the description box below and in the comments section. Obviously it's a London based event, so if you're from London or you can come to London, you are welcome. It's for everybody, people that want to get into the creative industry, that are starting, that are established. You might even be inspired. Listen, just come and support the kid, okay, and support the brand. We've got so much plan. I've already got so many ideas for future events after this. Can you imagine? So I'll share them with you in a later date. Dorinda and I also worked on Debbie's ebook cover. Go and support that as well. I'll put everything in the description box below. Everything will be down, but I'm so proud of Debbie as well. And let's go straight into the Love Island review. Love Island has not finished yet in the UK, but I'm over it already. I'm over this season. I'm so tired of it. If you do not know, if you're from outside the UK and you don't know what Love Island is, Love Island is a British dating reality TV show, but the contestants are not in the UK. The villa is based in Spain. I personally was hooked onto this show last year. I was meant to do a review, but the footage came out so horribly. They eventually uploaded season 1 and 2 on Netflix, and I caught up on season 2. And I also want to say rest in peace to Sophie. I'm just so sad about her death. I just watched her like 2 weeks before she died, and it was just so heartbreaking. So rest in peace to Sophie. So I want to speak about my opinions on the season before I go into the cast. So of course there was so much hype building up towards the premiere of this season, because season 3 was so good. I feel like they probably got their most views from last season, and a lot of people had just found out about Love Island last year, including myself, as I mentioned. I was counting down the months from last year when it ended, okay? So that's how much people were so excited for this new season that started on June the 8th, 2018. But when they released the image of the contestants' original cast, I knew from that moment it was not going to live up to season 3 standards. Like, I was like, what is the meaning of this? Like, what is this? What I noticed was the token black girl, Samara, who I'll talk about in a bit. They all had similar personalities, or they looked similar. Like, you can tell there was not much difference to them in personality and looks. So I was like, okay, cool. So as I said, it premiered on June the 8th, 2018, and from the first episode, I just knew. I knew that it was not going to live up to it. As the weeks went by, I began to get used to the fact that it would not be as good as season 3. However, I started to lose interest in this season the moment I found out the scriptivity of it all, the deceit of it all. So one of the biggest issues when it came to this season was screen time, okay? The issue was they were so focused on forcing certain couples down our throats that we didn't get to see other couples blossom on the show. The biggest example I want to use right now is Samara and Frankie. Frankie, I could tell he was a douche lord. We didn't get to see why Samara was so upset when Frankie was eliminated, not knowing they had a hideaway scene. So if you don't know what a hideaway is from the show, that is when a couple is chosen to stay in a separate room to the other islanders, because the islanders are in a big room, like different beds obviously, but it's a big room where they all share. Samara and Frankie had their own hideaway time, but it was not aired on TV. They had so many good moments, not even just with Samira and Frankie, but there are people that got personality that we did not know until like certain scenes began to leak, or they were in the After Sun episodes. Love Island is shown from Sunday to Friday, and the Saturday is when they give us like the recap or the unseen footages. So they put the best bits in the unseen, but in the main episodes it's just dead and boring. Like, what is the meaning? And what I think Love Island were trying to do was to make the contestants look marketable, except for Samira, because we know what they say about our people. Them, they don't want to see us win. in my opinion. Okay, so you can tell like they're just trying to force this image, this persona already. Like, let them be them. Let the contestants be themselves. Look at Adam. Adam is expected to make hundreds of thousands of pounds from appearances alone. Another issue this season was that people knew of each other before they came to the villa, but on camera they look like enemies. I don't want that excuse of, oh, you can't say that you know each other, because when Jack's ex came this season, we knew that that was his ex. When Tom's ex from season 2 came, we knew that was his ex. That just shows that the producers are just being very picky, because I know someone, a beautiful black girl, that would have made it pop this season. I believe that they kept her during the auditions and they thought she was fun, but they didn't pick her. I won't talk about every single cast because I don't have time for that. We have to talk about the cast that matters. So I want to start off by talking about Dyer and Jack Fincham. So Dyer is 21 years old and she's the daughter of Dyer. So her name is Dani, I think his name is Danny. So before the season started, the tabloids were saying how she's asked for her dad's permission to have sex on TV, all that kind of stuff, which her mom later revealed was not true, all that kind of stuff. So when that came out, I was like, what kind of girl is this? But once she came on the show, once we got to know her, she became one of my favorites. Instantly a sweetheart. Even though I think she's one of the youngest, she has a heart of gold. She was Samara's very good friend. She was just the one that always gave advice. The problem with her and Jack was that anytime someone would spill tea to them, they would go into the whole villa. He just spoke a little bit too much, but I think Dani is so cute. Like, she's someone I want to be friends with in the real world. Like, she's just a sweetheart. She paired up with Jack Fincham from day 1 until now, so they've made it to the finals. Jack had been pretty busy in the sheets prior to coming on Love Island, and his ex was even brought onto the show to stir it up a little bit, but he was loyal to Dani, and I love them. But I just hope that they can make it in the real world, because I think they have similar but different personalities. I want either them or another couple I'm going to mention after to win. The next one I'm talking about Josh, Denzil and Kasmir Crosley. So Josh came in day 8 and Kasmir came in day 26. So Josh was originally paired with Georgia, but once he and the guys were sent to Casa Amor, which was another villa, his head got turned by a beautiful woman called Kasmir. And obviously when they came back to the main villa and it was revealed that he had left Georgia for Kasmir, they had a very bad start, but they have become one of my favorite couples this season. Like, he just seems so in love. Like, amazing guy. He's an amazing guy and he's doing it for the black people there. Like, I'm so proud. And Kasmir is very beautiful. But my issue is that we've not got to see them properly this season. Next up we have Laura Anderson, who was there from day 1. So Laura's first coupling was with Wes. However, Wes's head got turned by Megan, who I'll talk about afterwards as well. I think age gap was the issue between Laura and Wes, and I will also say it was the same issue with Laura and Jack, who I'll talk about in a bit as well. So when it came to Laura and Wes, she's 29, he's 21, I believe. Wes is 20. See, Wes is even 20, so they are miles apart when it comes to age, and I feel like people of different ages have different needs, different wants, different life goals. Laura's looking for marriage, for kids, the whole happy ending. Wes is still growing. He has not, I don't think he's even found himself yet. Like, he's not ready to commit. Maybe he's ready to commit, but not to the point where he's gonna get married, have kids. Maybe he wants to have fun. Like, he wants to have fun, lay it down, zip and do it. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was not gonna work. People are like, oh, it will work, it will work. No, because they're just not even on the same wavelength. They weren't. But then later on, she coupled up with Jack Fowler. But again, the age gap, because Jack is 22, so obviously 2 years older than Wes, but still different life goals at the moment. Like, his short-term goals is definitely different from her short-term goals. It was this, I feel like she was making the same old mistakes. And the issue that I had with Laura was that she was too defensive. Way too defensive. I feel like anytime someone would give her advice, and then he told her to go for Paul, who was 31, her age mate, you know, someone has the same like mentality or similar goals, you know. When Dani was saying that, she's like, oh, don't tell me what to do, trying to confuse me. No, it's not everyday talk. She was made to look like a fool because Jack eventually broke up with her on that same day that Dani warned her. They broke up. I was like, you see me do clownery? The clown comes back to bite. She later on paired up with Paul, as I said, 31 years old, and he came in at day 43. Oh goodness, I don't see them working either. Because even though they're the same or similar age, he doesn't show interest. He just seems like he's just there for the sake of it, and I don't see them winning. I either want Josh and Kaz or Jack and Danny to win in that order. So I want to talk about Wes separately, who I already mentioned. And again, I just feel like he's another one where we didn't get to see his personality fully. Wes Nelson, 20-year-old, as I mentioned, was paired with Laura. But after they didn't work, he decided to leave her for Megan. Megan had already got a reputation for not being certain of what she wanted in the villa, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so everyone's wondering, would they last? But they've actually made it to the final. And I think what I don't like about his experience is the fact that we didn't get to see him properly, because him, Jack and Josh deserve their own show. They are actually hilarious. They are so funny. I enjoy them as a trio. So Megan, who's 24 years old, came in during day 8 of the season, and she really came and turned heads. She had Adam losing his brain cells. All the guys were just turning their heads, just looking at her like, wow, like this girl is buff. But obviously there was a huge discussion on the social media about her before and after. So she got surgery, I think everywhere, because if you look at the before picture, chair. I'm not putting it here because that's bullying, but you can research. But the before and after, I was like, oh, that can't be the same. This is not even glow up. This is surgery. The way she was not certain with who she wanted. She'll kiss one guy to another, but have no interest in them. Like, if you don't like them, do not kiss them. Just say, no, I don't want you. Is it that hard? Is it that hard? But once she paired up with Wes, we got to see another side of her, her more vulnerable side. So she has a lot of insecurities, which I could tell before she even told us she had insecurities. Like, I could tell before it started to show even more, she had a lot of insecurities. I feel like a lot of these women on this show have insecurities, and I don't think we've experienced something like this before on previous seasons. I know that kind of thing exists, but to see so much of it, it was just so weird to me. I was thinking, is it Love Island or Cry Island? They love fast. Oh my god. I thought I loved fast. I don't even compare. I do not compare to this, because they were just catching feelings in day 2. In day 2, people were saying, I love you. I was like, oh, okay. Whatever you say. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Megan. I don't want her to win though, like, for what? But I want to talk about Jack Fowler separately. He has got so much personality. He brought something different to the show. I was getting so tired of seeing carbon copies of other people. It was so annoying. I was like, can we just get someone different, original? He's part black. I don't know if we're calling him black for the sake of it or if he actually is part black. But he just fit in so well with the group, as I said, Wes and Josh. Obviously, him and the girl that he recoupled with, coincidentally, her name is also Laura. I believe they came 6th place this season. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But obviously, they made it to the last week or so of the season. He has so much personality, but I don't think him and second Laura will work. Next, I want to talk about Georgia. She came in during day 4. I believe she was the youngest of the season. So automatically I thought, because obviously a lot of the girls were quite intimidated by her personality, because she was a guy's girl. Like, she could hang around with the guys, and she eventually paired up with Josh. Okay, so as I mentioned, Josh and the boys were sent to Casa Amor to see if they can actually be loyal to the girls, and lo and behold, he came back with a new girl, Kaz, turning back and forth, trying to calm herself down and all that kind of stuff. And I would say she handled it so well at that moment. So as I mentioned, she went on a date with Jack, and by that time, Jack was already paired with Laura. After the date, there was a kiss. From what I noticed, especially when they showed different angles, certain angles, it looked like as if it was a mutual kiss. Other angles, it looked like she was forcing it on him. But it was later revealed when she left the villa that the kiss was done multiple times. Meaning, they filmed that same kiss a couple of times. I was like, so why are we arguing about this? If they've kissed more than once, this means it was mutual, it was consented, it was planned. It was at that point where I was like, Love Island, you have messed up severely. After that whole drama, the girls were against her. He was saying one thing, she was saying another, and they eventually laid it to rest. During an elimination, Georgia and Sam had the choice to either stay in the villa and pair up with other people, or to leave the villa together if they genuinely liked each other. I thought Madam Loyal, I'm real. I thought she would say, let's go home and let's work this together. However, they decided to stay. They decided to stay in the villa. They tried to date other people, but it just wasn't working. And they eventually decided to leave the villa during every coupling. They were like, I'm not recoupling with anybody. I'm leaving with Georgia. I'm leaving with Sam. Next, I want to talk about Alex George, who was in the villa from day one. He's 27 years old and is a doctor. From the beginning, he had issues finding the girl of his dreams. He was partnered with Samara by force for a very long time. At first, they were quite like distant because obviously she didn't find him attractive. He didn't find her attractive. But eventually they built a friendship. They both had something in common, which was the fact that they were not finding someone that was their type on paper. So weeks and weeks go by and he is still struggling to find someone that finds him mutually attractive. Tries to date Ellie, but the Islanders and Alex himself were kind of pressurizing her to choose him, all that kind of stuff. So eventually she said, listen, I don't find you attractive. Bye. And she left him for Charlie, who I'll talk about separately. Alex has really annoyed me this season because we thought, oh my god, he's a loner, he has nobody. No, this guy is a snake. He's a green snake under green grass, an absolute mess. He's just rude. Eventually, a girl comes to the villa and says she finds Alex attractive, so she brings him for a blind date. Before he goes for the date, he tells the Islanders, my type is blonde hair, blue eyes. Alexandra was nowhere close. She's a fit girl, black hair, dark eyes, from what I remember. Very beautiful girl. As they start to talk more and more, I feel like you can tell from that moment that he was not interested, but she was really interested in him. Alexandra had the choice to either stay with him or choose Idris and another guy, I forgot his name. I don't think he was being transparent with his emotions. You can tell as a viewer watching the actual show that he is nowhere near interested, and what actually put the nail in the coffin was the final date. So the producers took them on a car date. He didn't mention his time with her at one moment, as the boys. So next I want to talk about Samara. And she was the only black woman of the season. She was there from day one, but similar to Alex, she also had issues finding the guy of her dream. The first guy that she found attractive was Sam Bird, but I could tell from that moment that there was no chemistry. It was so forced. Like, you can tell she's trying, but I don't think he was trying at all. And yeah, it did not work. So once Sam went to Casa Amor, he found someone that he found more attractive, and he came back with them, and she paired up with Frankie, who came into the villa. Because obviously the girls were also tested as well if they will stay loyal to their guy. So she said to pair with Frankie, but as I mentioned, they barely got any screen time. As I mentioned, he was eliminated and she was distraught. She was crying like a widow. She was literally like, oh my god, take me away. So eventually she left the show on her own will because she wanted to go to Frankie. There was a whole drama about, was the reunion that was filmed at the airport real? I don't know, because people that were there were saying that they had done it twice. But apparently the night before she came back to the UK, he had an affair with another girl. I'm like, I could tell because I don't think he was as interested either. I just think he showed interest when she was coming back because he had seen how distraught she was during this season. She was a whole mess. I can't lie to you. She was emotional. Oh god. So next I want to talk about Ellie Jones, 22 years old, from Kent. She was originally coupled up with Alex, but it did not work, as I mentioned. Then she coupled up with Charlie. And I want to say something. Before she found out that Charlie was soon to be a billionaire, once she found out from Danny and Jack, oh my goodness, she switched. The day after they became boyfriend and girlfriend, they were arguing. But once she found out that this guy is rich, she said, no, I'm gonna fix up. She was not a problem anymore. She kept him. Ellie had drama with Georgia because she felt like Georgia said, oh, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, but you went and kissed Laura's man during your date with him. I feel like Ellie had personal problems with Georgia prior, and she was waiting for the right moment to go and attack her because it was just so random. Like, it's not your fight, it's not your cross to carry. Like, why are you doing the absolute most? I want to talk about Adam Collar, who's 22 years old, and he came in during day one. He didn't come in with a group of boys, he came alone afterwards to stir the pot, and I believe that's how his storyline was for his time in this season. He was an absolute mess. He was going from one girl to another. He was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. When it came to Kendall, I feel like Kendall was absolutely soft and she didn't make it that far this season. Rosie was stupid because Rosie snatched Adam away from Kendall and she thought, oh, I can change him. I'm a fuckboy whisperer like Olivia thought she was in season 3. No, because Karma came and hit her like a truck. Karma came through the first class tray, and I kid you not. He was also interested in Megan, but I don't think Megan was that interested in him. And eventually he coupled up with Zara, and he promised he won't do what he did to other girls to her. She got eliminated first, and he had a choice to either leave if he wanted to, like how Samara did, or stay. But eventually he got eliminated too. Another highlight of this season was Hailey. Hailey, oh god. Hailey was an airhead. She was first coupled up with Eyal. So she said that she could not stand the way Eyal breathed. She couldn't handle the way he breathed. And to be honest, I didn't know what she meant at first because she sounded so stupid. But the way she articulated that point did not make sense. But once we got to know Eyal a little bit more, I got to know what she meant. But she was also very indecisive. She went from being coupled up with him, of Charlie, but she was not interested in the other Charlie either. They could not even do interviews together. They had to sit in different angles of the studios where they had their interview. I'm like, what? Are you guys in kindergarten? What's wrong with you? Are you in primary school right now? Eyal later on paired up with Megan, but Megan played him like a violin. Everyone that treated people poorly on the show, Karma hit them in the worst way possible. I think I have covered the main islanders for this season. If I have not, comment down the ones that I've missed out that you actually enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on this season as a whole. Would you be watching season 5 next year? Let me know. Let's have a conversation in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also don't forget to always do you and be unapologetic.